Hello, and welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm your host, Dr. Rita, Louise, and thank you all for tuning into the show today. So I want to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all of those good things that go along with this time of the year. But today is a special day because today is actually the winter solstice. And the winter solstice is often tied to Christmas for one, although when people say, oh, but it's the solstice, they often assume that it's some Wiccan or pagan thing, and it's evil and Christmas trees are evil. But it really is not. When you survey cultures around the world, and so people that know some of my other work, I'm really about looking at a global connection of things. And when you look at the solstice around the world, many places it's tied to the end of the harvest season. During the solstice festivities, it is very common, not just in like Germany and Sweden, to do a gift exchange. They spend time with family. They cook a really good meal. They sing songs. They tell stories and they dance. And there is this coming together of people to commemorate the birth or the rebirth of the sun from its time hidden to its growing and mounting importance in the night sky, morning sky, whatever, in the sky. But over the years, the solstice has been tied to the Roman holiday Saturnalia, I cannot say that word, and Yule, which is a Norse/German tradition, where we get the Yule log. But Yule, getting a little historical here, actually is connected to, comes from a veneration of the Norse god Woden, who, interestingly, was portrayed with a white beard, and he rode around in the sky in a sleigh, bearing gifts and visiting people during the Yule. That sounds kind of familiar. And actually, when I give presentations talking about iconography, the consistency that you find in artwork, but you also find this consistency in myth. And I often use Santa and clues describing Santa to people. And usually I'll start with, well, it's an elderly, portly man who has a white beard. And then I add, and he usually is seen wearing a red outfit. And that's when everybody knows it's Santa. But what if Wodan wore a red outfit or a red cape? Then people might sit there and go, wait, it's Wodan and not Santa. But we traditionally associate that with Santa. And again, the solstice has been tied to many ancient traditions around the world. Where it gets interesting, so there are the traditions that we follow, but we find very similar customs in the Americas. We find similar customs in China and Japan. But then when you're talking about the South, below the equator, which I can't even imagine, where when they celebrate Christmas, it's hot and they're wearing shorts because it's the middle of the summer. Their solstice, their winter solstice, is actually in June. But even with it being 6 months away on the other side of the planet, the traditions that they celebrate and the traditions that they have that are tied to the winter solstice are again, consistent with what we find here. And if you look around the globe, there are actually a lot of monuments that attest to and recognize and measure the winter solstice. And so I think everyone is familiar, that Stonehenge is a place where the winter and summer solstice are identified. But also in England, we have a place called Newgrange. In Mexico, we have the El Castillo in Chichen Itza. Machu Picchu also has a sun measuring device that captures and identifies the solstice. The Temple of Karnak in Egypt identifies and measures the solstice, as well as Chaco Canyon in New Mexico. And so it is not just a thing that we find here. It's a concept. It's a belief that we find globally. And all of these traditions go back into deep antiquity, long before there was Santa Claus. But tied to this, and I might talk about this a little bit more next week, but I think this is a good point to bring up. We celebrate New Year's a week away, but really this is on some levels the end of the year, where we say goodbye to the darkness and start bringing in the light. And I know that many of you are really ready to say goodbye to 2023. And so perhaps in this period, in this span between today and the new year, it might be time to stop and reflect on where you've been, and then also where you want to go and where you see yourself moving into in the year 2024, and setting goals. And I'm not saying resolutions, but seeing where you want to be. And, like not this past year, but the year before, my goal was to be happy. And I just really focused my attention on what do I need to do to be happy. So it wasn't about losing weight. It wasn't about anything else. It was just about being happy. And so it can be even as simple as that. You want to work on deepening your relationships or getting out of your house more. But these should be things that are personal to you that, we've been talking a lot about awareness. We have talked a lot about awareness that you can internalize and ask yourself and become aware of what that inner yearning is, of what you want to have more of in your life. And if that means, going to the gym more often is something you want to have more of in your life, then that's great. You go for it. But if you ask yourself that question and you get a different answer, then maybe that's what you need to listen to, especially if it feels very sincere and heartfelt. And when you go, well, is this really it? And you get a yes, then listen and think about what you can do to incorporate it. Because remember, you have a whole year. And so you don't need to plan the whole thing out. You just need to make that commitment to yourself that this is the vibration of 2024. Hey, Deb, I know that you're listening. And I remember I was going to talk about numerology and astrology for 2024. Dang. Okay. So next week, that's our topic. But Deb, write that down and remind me so I don't forget again. But I remembered. So great. Anyway, so that's all I have for this week. I hope that was helpful. A little bit of history, a little bit of cultural information. I truly believe that there was a global society or one society that spread around the world and they took their traditions with them, which is why we find the same things over and over and over in myth, in customs, in rituals around the world. And the celebration of the solstices is also included in that list of things that go so far back into antiquity that everybody's doing the same thing. And everybody's been doing the same thing for thousands and thousands of years. So it must be important. Okay, let me do my little thing and I'll start taking some questions and say hi and all that good stuff. So if you would like to schedule a private consultation with me, please go to soulhealer.com. That's soulhealer.com. There's lots of articles. Just go sign up for an appointment. It's a new year. It's time to make changes. And if you need help identifying what those are, I'm your girl. I don't predict the future, but I can help you unwind what you might not be able to figure out for yourself. If you are tuning into the show on a different platform or whatever, you can like my page. It's a group, Dr. Rita Live on Facebook group. I post a lot to that page, and I also allow other people to post to that page. So if you have a new book that's appropriate to this audience or whatever, and it has to be interesting to me, because if it's not interesting to me, it's like, decline. So, and you know me. So anyway, on YouTube, you can listen to this show at Just Energy Radio on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel, like it, sign up for the notifications, all that good stuff. And so I've been telling you, and I finally added it on here, if you want to watch on Rumble because you hate Facebook and you hate YouTube, you can now see the show on Rumble at Psychic Doc on Rumble and click on the live tab at the appropriate time. So I have not had anybody from Rumble type in any messages. I'm going to assume it's going to interface the same way. So if you're a brave person and want to go on Rumble and see if the chat works, I'd appreciate you. Okay. And of course, you know, my books, dang, it was me all along. It says you can order it. Someone said you could just pre-order it. I don't really know what's going on, but it's out on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. It's on all of the booksellers. So if you can't get a copy for Christmas or get somebody a copy for Christmas, you can at least pre-order it and get it lined up for you. And also, my book, Avoiding the Cosmic 2x4, is available in a Kindle PDF format stuff. Anyway, and don't forget to sign up for my newsletter at soulhealer.com. Anyway, okay. So I am going to just kind of blow through and say hi to everybody, and then I'll go back and respond to any comments or questions that are being posted. Okay. So Miss Amy says, Merry Christmas, Dr. Rita. Hi, Amy. Merry Christmas. And Nina, hey, Nina, it's been a while. Merry Christmas. Thanks for coming in. And we have Otto from Ohio saying hi. And we have Miss Wendy. Hi, Miss Wendy. And we have Savannah. I'm just going to call you Savannah. And she has a question, but I will come back. And Savannah, you know, once I get done with this, you already put your questions. Okay, I'm going to come back. All right. Oh, it's Otto's birthday. Okay, Otto, I would sing the birthday song, but I'm not allowed because this is recorded. So I'm just going to say happy birthday to you. Okay. And, I know who that is. All right, Amy, Wendy, Otto. We have BD World. We have Blind Dog World Headquarters in the house. Hey, Blind Dog, and Liz, if you're there. Good evening, Dr. Rita. Happy solstice and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And we have Yvonne in the house. Hi, Yvonne. And Debbie, happy solstice to you too. And Miss Cindy, you turn sash. And Gabby, who's probably sleeping by now, is in the house. Hi, everybody. All right, so Savannah, I am going to come back to you. Okay, so I've been trying your supplement suggestions every day, but they either haven't helped or made things worse. Why my body isn't responding well to the things you intuited for it. Okay, Savannah, so I'm going to just take like an updated look. So when I look at your gut, I just feel like nothing is really moving. And one of the things that I'm feeling is that, and I hate saying this in just kind of a global generic sense, but your anxiety is making it so that your body just can't relax in order to have anything work. And I'm wondering if just working on relaxing and working on letting go of your anxiety would make the symptoms that you're having just magically go away. Um, I'm looking at the supplements that I recommended to you. I had talked to you about the H. pylori, and I'm not seeing that anymore. So that's really good. So, but I just feel like you eat stuff and it doesn't want to move through, like into your small intestines, like you're holding on to it. Um, and I'm going to go into a little bit of a Chinese medicine explanation. In Chinese medicine, the stomach has to do with taking in information or energy from the world around us. And so when we take in energy from the world around us, if we don't like it and if it doesn't sit well with us, we can get an upset stomach, or we can get an ulcer, in a bad case, or we'll throw it up. It's like our body just rejects what's going on. And so there's something going on there, but then there's where the material in the stomach passes into the small intestine. And I'm feeling like your small intestine isn't really wanting to accept anything. And I feel like that's just moving along really slowly. And the small intestine has to do with separating the wheat from the chaff. And it is all about making your own discernment based on the energy that you've taken in. So let's say you eat a hamburger and it goes through your stomach, and your stomach allows it to go on. And when it gets to the small intestine says, oh, well, there's some protein, and there's this nutrient here, and there's this nutrient here. Oh, but you ate a hamburger bowl with all that processed wheat, so I'm just going to get rid of that. So it separates what it wants to keep from what it wants to eliminate. And I'm just feeling like things really are slowing down there. I am feeling like there's some inflammation in that tissue, but not like red hot inflammation, but more like swollen. And I don't remember if we talked about, a gluten issue, even though gluten presents a different way. But I could see where what I'm observing as being kind of an allergy issue, where that tissue would just get swollen. I don't have a better word for it. So I'm going to stop there, and please feel free to ask other questions, continue this conversation down below. Okay. That's kind of how we fly here is, it starts someplace and it moves to somewhere else. Okay. So I don't know where Otto is out of. So Amy says, happy birthday, Otto. And so Otto says the Russian Santa, I'm guessing that is supposed to be, is blue. Huh. The Russian Santa's blue? That's interesting. Okay, so then. All right, so Yvonne has a question. Okay, I have a new member of my podcast. So did you get rid of the other member of your podcast, or are there 3 of you now? Okay, but that's a different question. Okay. Have a new member of my podcast, wondering if he's a good match for me and Gordon. Oh, I guess Gordon's still there. He feels like the missing piece. I feel, excuse me, I feel like he gives you something to kind of bounce off of. And I don't want to say that he's the straight guy, but kind of, and I feel like there's a higher vibrating, better dynamic, better connection with him. Um, I don't know that he's like the end all be all, but I feel like he is elevating your energy, and the energy of the show. And so I think for at this moment, it's really good. And I'm wondering if you change the name to get rid of the names off of it so that you have more room and more flexibility to bring people in and move people out, as the case may be. Okay, so Savannah said, that makes sense. Thank you. How do I calm my anxiety? I've tried the breathing exercises you've recommended, but my anxiety feels too severe and constant for that. So, Savannah, I'm going to recommend that. All right, hang on a second. I'm going to go over here. That you get my new book. Dang, it was me all along, because seriously, and people that know me know I am like so not a freaking pitch person. But that is really what that book is all about, is about addressing the negative thoughts that are going on inside of you that produce the anxiety in the first place, and what you can do to transform and transition that so that you can be way more chill. Okay. So Nina says, I'm experiencing a tremendous amount of healing. Is this accurate? Okay, so I mean, it's kind of a broad question, Nina, but I'm going to answer it best I can, and hopefully I'm going to hit. So I'm just going to kind of talk about where I see your energy today in relationship to where I see your energy like 3+5 years ago. When I look at your energy today, you feel a lot lighter. You feel like you have a lot more energy. I feel like you are better able to navigate your daily life. I feel like you are way less triggered by things that happen around you. I feel like your self-worth has been, I had a hamburger for dinner, increased dramatically. I feel like your energy level is so much better that you're almost not quite sure what to do with yourself, because you have all of this, adrenaline. I mean, it's not adrenaline, but just so much speed going on now that you almost don't recognize yourself anymore, and wonder where all of this is coming from. And I feel like it's coming from you unburdening yourself from a whole lot of crap and working on yourself physically. I don't feel like all of this is your work physically, but it definitely played a role in what's going on. Nina, I am going to make a suggestion, and that is doing some detoxing, not all at the same time, but maybe do a little bit of liver detoxing with like milk thistle and dandelion, and like buy a bottle or two and just like take it as recommended on the bottle, which is not a very hardcore detox. And then maybe get a bottle of cilantro, which is more of a cellular heavy metal detox, and do that, and actually it wouldn't be awful, might be a little much, but it, like every 2 months to 3 months, like pick one thing that you're going to cleanse and then move on to the next thing, because I would rather you do it low and slow than fast and furious, because a lot of times that leaves people feeling really bad. And I think that this is a recommendation that can really go out to anybody, is that we can do cleansing throughout the year, and, picking one thing to do a low, slow cleanse on, and then shifting to something, 2 months later or 3 months later. You can cover a lot of body parts by doing that. Okay. Thanks, Nina. Nice seeing you here. Okay. So Yvonne says, yay, no more names. Yay. And Yvonne, you know, I feel like no more names for you gives you a lot more freedom to make executive decisions of what's going on, because bottom line, it is your show. And I feel like this new guy is better. He's better, but I'm not feeling like, again, he's the end all be all. But the no names is going to help a lot. And I already see like you are bringing those transitions in. So, yay. Hey, and Miss Veronica is finally here. And she says, happy holidays, peeps. Okay. Okay, so Lisa is here from YouTube. And Lisa, you're asking, need some guidance, any suggestion? Can you kind of, can you give me a clue? I mean, I could do something really super generic, but if you could kind of point me in a direction, I would really appreciate that. Okay. All right. And Veronica said, or Yvonne says, this is great advice. That's why you come here and hang out with me. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. I'll get to you in a second. Okay. Veronica says, can you tell if I have vitamin or mineral deficiencies? So I can tell you in a very global sense if you have vitamin and mineral deficiencies and you're an American. And so the answer is probably yes. But to say, oh, you're low on vitamin B or you're whatever this, there's too many to really pick out. If something really jumps at me, I'll share that. Actually, Veronica, not too bad. And if I have to make a pick, I'm going to say a little bit more on the vitamin side than the mineral side, which usually it's the other way where people don't get enough minerals, but I'm feeling like you're okay in that area. It's something that I'm going to just say to everyone. I know a lot of people, they were like, well, I take vitamin D and I take vitamin C and I take zinc and this stuff. And my recommendation is that instead of taking all of these individual things, maybe it would be better to find a high quality vitamin and mineral supplement so that you're getting a full spectrum of vitamins, because if you're taking C and D and zinc and whatever, doesn't mean you're getting any vitamin B in. It doesn't mean that you're getting any, of the other vitamins that we all need to have in our diet. Okay. So Lisa came back when I asked for guidance and she said love. And then Lisa, and I'm not getting on your case, but we have someone else that comes in here that's always asking about relationship stuff. And so her response is Clint, Stephen, John. So are you just doing like the spin the bottle and wherever the bottle lands, then you're going to be with them? So I'm going to give you a totally different piece of guidance and advice. When you have that kind of attitude toward relationships, basically what you're saying to yourself and to them is, I will take anybody who is going to like me, and not necessarily because I like them. And so if you're open to any guy who happens to come along and throws some energy your way and talks to you, and you think, oh, they might like me, the bigger question is do you like them? That needs to be the guideline, because if you don't operate that way and you go into a relationship with, well, they're breathing and they like me, then you end up in toxic relationships and you end up being part of the dumb girl club. And you can just ask anybody, especially them YouTubey people, about the Dumb Girl Club, because there's a lot of us that are part of the Dumb Girl Club. That is my best piece of advice to you. Okay. All right, Veronica, I don't know what that means. Okay, so Sun says, hi, Dr. Rita. Anything you see in my field that you think would be helpful to chat about? So basically, give me a general reading. Would that be the case? Okay, Sun, let's just see what I see, because, okay, I can. Okay, son. And please, validate whether this is vibrating with you or not. But I feel like the last couple of years, including 2023, but 2023 in a different way, have kind of been crappy for you. And I feel like you've spent a lot of time kind of climbing out of a hole of like despair or depression or just not good. And I feel like you made the commitment, kind of like what I was talking about earlier. You made the commitment to yourself in 2023 to not have it be that way. And I feel like you have boundaries around what is acceptable to you and what's not acceptable to you anymore. And I mean, granted, you're a work in progress. We're always a work in progress, but I feel like your energy is shining, where before it was like I felt like you were just walking around under a dark cloud and you didn't want anybody to notice you. And now people are seeing you and acknowledging you and validating you. And I will bet you feel a whole lot better on a lot of different levels. So let me know what you think. Okay. And she also says, happy holidays. All right. So now we have Pat. Hey, Pat, are you a first-time viewer? If you are, hi, and welcome to Thursday Night Live. So let's see. Can you tell me why I don't absorb vitamin D and my levels are always low? Maybe. So the way that I work, especially with health-related stuff, there's what the naturopath knows, which bounces off the intuitive part. I'm not really sure how or where vitamin D absorbs. I mean, I would assume in the small intestine. But if you're having malabsorption, this is what's going on in my mind. If you're having malabsorption issues, it wouldn't just be the vitamin D that your body's not absorbing. So hang on. I'm not sure I have an answer, but I'll look. Yeah, I don't. Okay. So energetically, I see what you're talking about. I'm not understanding it, so it makes it hard to put it into words. If there's something that you've never had an experience with, for me to sit there and say, oh, well, this is what you do when you're on a sailboat that, like one of the Nina, Pina, and Santa Maria, like what it's like sailing on one of those boats. I have absolutely no idea. I kind of have a little bit of an idea because I've seen it on TV and I can kind of imagine it. But the vitamin D, I mean, I see where it's not going in, but I'm not understanding what that mechanism is that is not allowing it. When I look at your small intestine, I'm not getting that there's a bunch of candida. I am not getting that there is a gluten issue, which can really affect absorption. It's almost like your body is repelling it. Okay. and they told me this. I don't know if it's true. Usually they tell me stuff and I verify, but not in this format. I'm wondering if the kind of vitamin D you are taking, your body is just not liking, because there really is a difference between like the vitamin D you might get at Walmart and the vitamin D, and I don't know a lot about vitamin D, the vitamin D that you might get from, I'll make a different example. You can get omega-3 oil, and that comes from a variety of sources, or you can get krill oil, which is vitamin D, but it comes from salmon, so it's a higher quality, more absorbable because there's less chemical in it, so perhaps, maybe look at the source of the vitamin D. I feel like if you spent time out in the sun, that your body would get good vitamin D and would absorb it that way. But I'm feeling like my thought is perhaps it's the vitamin D formulation that you're taking. And I don't know if there's one that's more natural, or maybe you have a little allergy to it, something to that effect. So at least that's an idea to go explore. Okay, I hope that helps. Okay, so we are back with Lisa, who gave me this whole list of guys, and she says, I love Clint, but he isn't reciprocal. Well, Lisa, if he's not reciprocal and you're begging for him to like you, then it's not even worth your time and energy. All you're going to get is heartbreak and wanting to have something happen that, if he's not reciprocating, he's already been clear about what he wants and what his intentions are. And if that's what he wants and that's what his intentions are, then you need to just listen to it and accept it versus trying to make something happen that clearly isn't happening. Did that make sense? I mean, Lisa, I'm sorry. I'm just being blunt and straight with you, but been down that road and it just never has a happy ending. Never. I love you guys. You know that I love you guys. Okay, so Veronica says, I like the cute mailman. He has great legs. So Veronica, Deb went and got her teeth done, and she said that the dentist was cute. So does that count? All right. And then she said, dumb girl. Yeah, we're all girl club senior member here. Yeah. No. Oh my God. Vesta, happy winter solstice, goddess. Did I miss you? Will my phone let me watch? I miss you. I don't know, Vesta, is your phone letting you watch? I hope so. I'm still here. I'm still talking. I'm still above ground. The dark of the night hasn't taken me over yet. Okay. All right. So Sun, around her health issue, says, I would say that's accurate. Choosing to cultivate and shine my light more and more. And I will totally agree. And I feel like, Sun, that you've kind of made this unspoken commitment to yourself. And I feel like the last 3 or 4 months, and I mean, you're kind of new here, but the last 3 or 4 months I've been talking about how challenging the energy has been, but it also has made people really step up to the plate and make a commitment to themselves and to their healing. And I feel like you have taken that bull by the horn and have moved forward with that. One of the things that I'm really curious about, and again, I said next week, Deb, numerology and astrology for 2024. But I am really curious because I know a large number of people that have really been in this inner transformation process really heavy in 2023. how 2024 is going to play out for them with, for them personally, and then also with the, like that separation from other people, even though that's kind of judgy, but yeah, I'm curious. I mean, some of the lessons from 2023 have really kind of sucked, but they were good lessons and things that I am choosing not to repeat if I can help it again in 2024. So we'll see, but I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be a much better energy in 24. Okay. All right. So Lisa says the supplement industry is all garbage. It's obviously not bioavailable. Yeah. Well, there are some that are better than others. You really have to look. You really have to read. It kind of sucks that, my personal favorite is, they'll sit there and say, made with real essential oils. And you open it up and my thought is that, did they take the essential oil bottle and just kind of like wave it over the top of it? Because from a therapeutic point of view, there's not any. There's not any. And just because you put one drop in it, and it does actually have some essential oils, shouldn't be something that you should be advertising like this is like one of the main ingredients. So that's my 2 cents. Okay. Okay, so Nina. Hi, Nina. Did you hear me talking about you before? Nina says Stefano is really handsome. So is that this new guy that you've been being really good and kind of keeping your energy back? Everybody wants an update. All right. Investa says, and to you, my beauty. Oh, thank you. It is so nice having you here, and you need to come more often. And then she says, I'm going in and out, but I'm here-ish. Ooh, then we can talk about her. And then Debbie says, cool, we need some good omens. And as I'm reading Debbie's thing, I'm like, where the hell is Marco? Bam, there's Marco. Rita looks extra pretty today. It's that festive stuff behind me that just makes me seem so festive. And I'm in a different room, and I'm on my laptop, and I have a ring light today because I'm not on my desktop because that's falling apart. Okay. Yvonne says Standard Process. Yeah, Standard Process is a really good, very natural company. That's one of the things that they stand behind. They do sell Standard Process now on Amazon. And it has become much more available. It used to be that you could just get it from, like a chiropractor or something. Metagenics is another nutraceutical that has a really good reputation, because it's not, you'll never find it in a health food store because it was designed to be sold by chiropractors and naturopaths and stuff. I don't know if Standard Process makes a vitamin D formulation, but I would look at Metagenics as well. So that's the 2 companies, Standard Process, 2 words, and then Metagenics is all 1 word. And then Debbie says, amen to a better year in 2024. Amen to that. And then Nina says, I've been with him almost 5 years. Wow, that's great, Nina. That's cool. And Margo says, bam, here I am. I know, bam, there you are. Vesta came back and says, I will try. Talk away, and at least you are talking. Well, it's what I do when I'm here. Veronica says, yay, Marco's in the cows. Veronica says, pure end caps, double tree, not really sure. Ooh, Marco says, Veronica, you are awesome. And I'm like, Marco and Veronica, But Marco, I thought you were like all hot on Amy. I mean, even though you think like I totally rock and I'm really super pretty and everything, and I look great tonight. But anyway, just giving you a bad time. Don't want the year to go out without me giving you a bad time. And then Veronica's back with it and saying, thank you, Marco, you rock. Okay, so I am at the bottom of my list. Thank you, everyone, for the questions and the commentary. Is there anybody else have any questions? Wow, Nina says, I do look great. Well, when I was getting ready, I was like, saw this shirt and I'm like, wow, what a perfect shirt to wear today since we're talking solstice. Although I might wear it again next week because it would fit really good too. I don't know. So if I'm wearing the same shirt next week, just no, idle chatter back there. Veronica says, Marco belongs to us cool chicks. And then Marco says, Rita's jealous. That's right, Marco, because you're my Marco. Wow. Okay, so I've known Vesta, probably about 5 years, and she's down 150 pounds. I've seen your pictures on Facebook, Vesta, and I knew that you've lost weight. I mean, that seemed obvious to me, but 150 pounds? That's more than me. So you lost me, Vesta. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. Okay, not really. But that is excellent. Congratulations for that. That is so cool. All right, and Dave's in the house. Hey, Dave, have any questions for me? So, because see, this is how it always is. I'll go, okay, I'm gonna go. There's 10 more minutes, but no more questions. I'm gonna go. And then I start doing my announcement thingies at the end, and then there's like 500 different questions. So I'm just gonna like pretend I'm gonna do my little question thingy. And just keep talking. Okay, so I'm just going to plug myself. Okay, so wait a minute, I got to do this first. Stop it. Okay, so if you want to schedule a private consultation with me, go to my webpage, soulhealer.com. That's soulhealer.com. And while you're there, sign up for my free newsletter that'll keep you informed of when these shows are coming up. So the email goes out on Thursday morning. So if you're always forgetting, like, what day is it and when is Dr. Rita on? Thursday morning, you will get an email that says, tonight, the night to see Dr. Rita. Soulhealer.com newsletter. Again, please join my group, Dr. Rita Louise Live on Facebook. I don't really take friend requests anymore. So if you want to like hang out with me, if you're a YouTube person, you want to hang out with me, Dr. Rita Louise Live on Facebook. If you are also a YouTube person and you haven't done this already, please like and subscribe to my channel. And something on Facebook or YouTube or Rumble, which is next, Psychic Doc on Rumble. Please share these shows. It started off where it just wasn't really doing a whole lot at the beginning, but now it's growing. Okay. It's growing, and it's really because of all of you coming and spending time with me, which I totally appreciate. But we can make this even better if you guys share this show with people, so that they know that they can come here and this is a safe space to hang out and chill and, have Marco get a crush on you and all that good stuff. I mean, especially if you're on YouTube. He seems to like the YouTubers better. If you still need to get someone a gift, my new book, Dang, It Was Me All Along, is available-ish, I think. I don't know. It's there and you can buy it. Now, whether it shows up at your house or not, I can't really make any guarantees, but it's available in print and e-format. as well as my other book, which is now has been in print, but now is available in ebook, Avoiding the Cosmic 2x4. See, now I have 6 comments now that I've gone through all of this. And I'm going to come back to the comments. All right. Amy says, any thoughts about my friend Alton? We have been friends a few years, but it seems like something more may be happening. So I feel like both of you are kind of in the, I really don't want to get involved and I really don't want to be hurt and I really don't want to look at what's going on. Amy, I'm saying this more specifically to you. I feel like once you kind of like turn your focus from like, oh, we're just chilling, hanging out, to, oh, there's something going on, that kind of obsessive-y thing activates. And my advice to you is stay over there. And if he initiates, let that be the indicator to move forward versus you being the indicator to move forward. Okay, so that's, I don't really understand. It says thanks, and yes, Jimmy or Freddie. Not quite sure. You kill me, Veronica. She says, I have a question, but for another time. It's like, you always have questions, so I don't ever worry about you having a question or not. Okay, so Wendy says, do you get a sense of what an optimal weight for me would be? You know, so usually I ask, what do you weigh now? So I can kind of gauge, you know, like, how tall are you and what do you weigh now? And I'm trying to remember how tall you were. And I don't want to say anything that would be insulting. So I'm going to say it this way. You know, because Wendy, I feel like you do use a bit of weight in protection mode. And I feel like if you got down to like 160, 180, you would still have that protection, but you would also be really comfortable in your skin. And it would be like really thin to you. And so I hope I didn't like say anything insulting, but that's kind of the range that I'm getting, you know, is that 160 to 180 number, you know, so does that resonate with you? Let me know. Okay. Otto said, it's a fun place. So I hope you mean here hanging out with me, because it is pretty fun. I try to be pretty fun. And then Marco said, great show. It's a great show because I'm here, Marco, and you're here, and all your girls are here. It's the Marco online girl harem of dumb girls. It's the dumb. That's it. It's the Marco dumb girl harem. Deb, you need to jump in on this one. Veronica says, I've invited people, but they're too lazy to jump on. You know, and I think that's why if you just share the video, you know, like on your feed, you know, especially after it's aired, then they get to experience it, kind of thing. And so Vesta says, thanks for congrats. Jim and Freddie both show interest and I'm torn. Oh, okay. Okay, where are we? You got 5 minutes. I'm going to talk fast. Don't be torn. I mean, you haven't made a commitment to any of them. And I think that you can use your time and your discernment to make the decision of who you want to have the relationship with. It's not that you have to pre-pick them. They have to, you're going to love this one. They have to win you. They have to do the things to get you to want to be with them. So if Jim or Freddie want you, then they need to freaking show it and put their money where their mouth is. I mean, not necessarily literally money, but you know what I mean. So don't pick them. Don't decide. Let them show you that they're worth your time and energy. Because vested, you're probably a dumb girl like a lot of us in here. So not like mentally dumb. It's dumb in I only get into like crappy toxic relationships with guys that live in RVs and have no money and they live in their mom's basement. That's the definition of a dumb girl, and fall in love with them and take care of them, and so we have this bond of we're not doing this anymore. And I think that you might have been part of that dumb girl club. And so don't be a dumb girl anymore. Let them fight for you. You lost 150 freaking pounds. And if they want you, then they need to work for it and they need to show it. That is the Dr. Rita opinion of the day. Man, I'm just on a roll with this, like, screw these guys opinion. Okay, Amy says, and Rita, Marcos says hi to everybody but me. I know, Amy, and I thought he was like all in love with you, but you obviously have been dumped for Veronica. Wendy says, that answer about my weight was great. I totally resonate with it. Okay, good. And Wendy, I really feel like if you get even to the 180, I feel like you will just feel so good. So good. Vesta says, no relationship in 11 years, so I'm nervous. In this one video book I read, it's like, just go have fun. Don't have expectations. Don't think or worry whether they're going to like you or not. Just go and enjoy the moment and enjoy the time, and either they're fun or not, and they want to be with you or not, or whatever. Okay, so I'm hoping you come back and we get kept up to date on what all's going on that, because we're like a little family here. So. Oh, so now Marco is all like being lovey-dovey with Amy. Amy, Merry Christmas, mistletoe, smooch. Yeah. Such a player, Marco. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So it is 1 minute to 8 o'clock, which means I have to go. I've already gone through my whole list of stuff. But again, I'm just going to say, if you want to schedule a private consultation, please go to my webpage, soulhealer.com. I will be here next week. We're going to talk about 2024 and the upcoming year. And until then, I'm Dr. Rita Louise. This is Thursday Night Live. Be blessed.